My name is Michael Simon. I am the Executive Director of Northwestern Hillel. Our Hillel cannot be one-dimensional. We have to be, I also don't say we should be all things to all people, but if our mission is to engage and inspire every Jewish student at Northwestern to make a meaningful and enduring commitment to Jewish life, we have to be able to approach, reach, be an avenue for all kinds of Jewish expression, whether it's cultural, religious, spiritual, historical, it's Israel, it's connecting to Am Yisrael around the world, connecting to Jewish alumni from Northwestern who've done interesting things. So I want to find out what my life might look like if I go into journalism and I care also about my Judaism. So there's things that, because of the specialness about Northwestern, that Northwestern Hillel tries to reflect and to achieve. Anecdote. The first Friday night that we were here in 2010, which was also your first Friday night as a freshman at this campus, I believe it was Friday night. It could have been that it was Rosh Hashanah, the dinner, but it was the first big dinner that we had at Northwestern Hillel in my tenure as the director. And I remember that we had to come. It was definitely high holidays, because we had to come here. There was a big dinner, lots and lots and lots of people. I mean, probably 150 students, and then we had to leave to go quickly to services, which might have been Kol Nidre. It doesn't matter. I had about 45 minutes, and there were about 150 students pouring in and out of the dining hall because it was grab food before going off. I think it was for Yom Kippur. And Claire came, got food, sat down, and I got some food, but then I went into, Michael mode, and there are all these students, and they were all new to me, and I was new to them, so I was going around the room, flitting around, welcoming students, and everybody was, friendly and warm and interesting and engaging, and it was really fun. But I left Claire alone off in a corner. So we're leaving NU Hillel to go off to the services, and I turned to her and I said, how are you doing? Was that okay? Because I knew I had left her just sort of on her own, amid the scary Northwestern students. And she said, I'm sort of astounded. Everybody was just saying, hi, how are you? Being social. And so sort of this social quotient, a sense of awareness about being friendly and welcoming and being trying to make people feel a part of a community. It might have been a part of the that moment, that it was the beginning of the year and the kind of event that we were at, but I've seen it time and time and time again, that the students here, and whether they're students at Hillel or they're students that are outside of Hillel, there's something about a friendliness, a warmth, maybe a little lack, and I'm aware that you can find students here who maybe put on kind of a mask or put on a bit of arrogance, but the arrogance level is pretty flat here, and I like to attribute it as a non-Midwesterner who has moved to the Midwest, that there's something in the Midwestern kind of mannerism and value that seems to have kind of seeped into the student body here, and it's refreshing. Our responsibility is to help and work with students, really, to create opportunities to kind of set the table of all manner and form of meaningful Jewish expression, of opportunities to connect, to build community, to learn more, to think maybe a little differently or a little outside the box about issues or challenges that are related to Jewish identity, related to Israel. Our job is to put those opportunities out there and to make people aware of them and help hopefully to engage them in those. But at the end of the day, if you're a student here, you're going to have so many different opportunities to be involved in, not just in Jewish life, and not just through Hillel, with Jewish life, but then in all kinds of other things on campus. And I would not want a student to come in and have a narrow tunnel vision that here's how I'm going to be involved in the Jewish community or not. I would want them to be open-minded to all these amazing opportunities that we're hopefully putting in front of them, but also put it in the context that there's all these other things that you can and probably should delve into and look into. And if Hillel ends up being a high point or a major drawing point for the things that help you to grow as a young, thoughtful, hopefully wonderful human being, that's fantastic, and that will be really beneficial and help to build a really great Jewish community at Northwestern. If this ends up being a place and an institution and set of opportunities that you very occasionally, if at all, connect with, but you're having an amazing growth experience and getting what you need out of your Northwestern experience, then I say that's wonderful. It is not kind of a long time, it's a very long time. And we've been around, Hillel in some form on this campus has been around now for 80 years, which is about half of the lifetime of this university overall. I think it's been fun and interesting to have some views into the archives and look back on thinking about what was Hillel, what did it represent for students in very different eras. I think that it's exciting to see how we've grown and flourished and become really an indispensable part of the overall campus and university community. But I also think that in its own way, we were playing that role from the very beginning. It's a very Jewish thing to look back, not at necessarily history. We have this whole thing of, is it history or is it memory? We're not just doing this event to have it be like a historical marking point to say, okay, well, here's what happened 10 years and 20 years and 30 years. But I think what's been most kind of meaningful is going and talking to alumni and hearing from people who are reflecting on their experiences and what Jewish life was like for them when they were a student here or faculty member, and then making kind of the links between, as we say in the Jewish tradition, ledor vador, from generation to generation, and thinking about the work that we're doing day to day in a context that goes well beyond just, how is this particular program or how is this particular week progressing, to thinking about what are we putting in place, what has been in place that has enabled us to do what we're doing now, and what are we putting in place now that is hopefully going to be a benefit to the generations to come. What we try to do, and what we I think are accomplishing to some extent, is to be a place and a haven and a generator of opportunity for students to explore the particularism of their Jewish identity and whatever that means to them, whatever it might mean to them. And I think we're working on continuing to shape and enrich that aspect, but doing it in conversation with, in the connection with, in context with what it means to be part of a broader universalistic society, and in this case the university being the place where that plays out, of being, I'm Jewish in this part of my identity, but there's all these other aspects of my identity, and what's the interplay. And a university like Northwestern provides opportunities for students to really delve into that, and I think Hillel is playing a great role of doing that. And I think that we can be, what are we trying to put in place? I think we're trying to model that both for other parts of this university, for other universities, and for our students as they go out into the world and are trying to figure out, what does it mean for me to be Jewish, and what does it mean for me to be human, and what impact can I make on the world that's going to have a positive difference. Go Cats!